Quick PSA, man. It's getting hot outside. I understand, sneakers might not always be the choice. Boots is probably way out the window. Depending on how you're feeling. But if you're going to wear your toes out, I'm not saying you gotta go get your shit done, every day, every week, whatever, right? But if I'm looking down in a public setting and the first thing that comes to my mind is like, damn, when they brought the cool grays back out, and that's just your feet, like, come on, it's a problem, it's an issue. You know what I'm saying? That you might need to take care of, man. These moisturizer all around. There's options. There's things you can do. So gotta take care of that, man. Not just for yourself, but for other people, man. You out in a public place. You at home, do your thing, man. You want your shit looking like pork skins and all that, do you? But you come outside, man. Have some respect, man. Have some respect for other people. It's episode 31, man. All for the love. We back. You know, it's been a little minute, man. We've been moving around, been doing a couple things, man. But we back out here. Obviously, the Kendrick and Drake shit is the most important thing that's going on right now, right? Like music wise, on some rap shit. But I have a whole episode that I'm planning on doing around that. So this ain't the episode for that. I do have a whole the next episode that I drop will be the full comprehensive breakdown of, not from like day one. It's going to be from recently, like this battle that just happened and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, um, before we get to that though, the movie recommendations, the TV recommendations, the music recommendations, all that still here. TV show that I just started recently is on Apple TV called Sugar. Colin Farrell, I owe Colin Farrell an apology, 100%, because for years I fronted on him, and I'm starting to think that maybe it was because I saw some shit he was in one time, and I just wasn't fucking with it. And that made me just be like, yo, what the fuck is he like? Why is he a name? Like, why is this a thing? He not even good. You know what I'm saying? One of those type of things. It's like if you go see, if somebody been telling you about an NBA player, NFL player, whatever, for all this time, you've been hearing their name, and then you go see them in person, and you like, this who the fuck they talking about? Like this the yeah. It's kind of one of those things. But he be smoking shit, man. He be smoking shit. His catalog is crazy, and he's good in this show right here. It's like some private investigator type time. He started investigating some shit, then he end up in some whole other shit because of it. Like I'm not gonna get a whole thing away, but I'm fucking with it so far. I'm like 2 episodes in, 2 or 3 maybe. I'm fucking with it, 100%. Movie wise, there's a joint called The Beekeeper. Yo, Jason Statham. I'm gonna watch the Jason Statham movie no matter what year it is, no matter what he's doing in the movie. If he's in the movie, I'm probably fucking with it more than likely. And this joint right here, this is like the equalizer. Like if Denzel fucked with bees and honey instead of tea and honey. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was switched up a little bit like that. He's on some shit in this. Felicia Rashad is in it, still looking amazing. Like she been looking good since 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and all that. So she's in there. This shit is fire, man. It's a good movie. Like I said, it's on some Equalizer, Jason Bourne esque kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things where it's like it may not be a brand new plot or a brand new kind of thing, but it's good. They executed it well. When it's things like that, it's hard to make a good movie out of something where we done seen this kind of material recycled. But they did a damn good job. I fuck with it. I fuck with it 100%. Music wise, what I'm listening to right now, I'm still listening to Bodie. I'm still listening to the Penalty of Leadership joint. I'm actually fucking with It's Us Volume 1, the Concrete Boy shit. It's just a fun tape, man. It's a very fun tape. I didn't have it on my my vision board or my plans for 2024 for me to start fucking with Yachty's music, but like he got some shit that I like really enjoy. Make no mistake about it. This is not somebody who I would go to bat for. Like this is not, for somebody saying like, yo, that shit is whack or he's listen, 100%. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to try to change your mind about it. I just enjoy some of the shit. He got some joints. Um, what is it called? Like Cold Sunday. That joint is crazy. Let me look it up. Matter of fact, let me make sure I'm being right. I'm accurate with this because that's a good song. Then he has another joint as well that sounds like some like it's like yeah a cold Sunday. That's the joint. Drive Me Crazy is the song that I was thinking about. It's like some pop shit, like some '80s pop. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those type of joints. It's just good. But it's us volume one is like a fun tape. It's a fun listen. Um, the beats on this shit is crazy. I can tell that this is probably gonna go up like in the summertime. You know what I'm saying? You out at parties, little day spots, and I think they're going on tour soon too. If they ain't already on tour right now, and I'm sure this shit is going up in these venues that they're going to. Like they got some shit, man. I fuck with Caribou. If you follow me, if you know what I'm saying, you know what's up. Um, some of my favorite parts on this tape is from her. It's like little small parts, verses as well, but like she has these very small parts on here that I just fuck with like crazy. So that's I'm listening to those two. And then just like I don't know, just like R&B, man, like neo soul R&B kind of shit on the like on the weekends and shit when I'm chilling, man. I just got done assembling, fucking bed and the desk and all that. I told you I'll be moving around and that was the soundtrack, man. Listening to that kind of shit, just chilling. You know what I mean? Sprinkle some Lupe in there and like I said, obviously the Kendrick and Drake shit, that shit took over everything. So, but again, this ain't the time or the place for that. I'm not gonna talk about that here, but I do have a pod plan for that. Like I said, where I'll tell you who I think won, the best song, all that, the whole breakdown, all that shit is on the way. Trust me, it's on the way. Yeah, but in the meantime, man, like I said, I'm just listening to those, like listening to fun shit, smooth shit. Got some Larry June sprinkled in there. You know what I mean? Just like some cool shit, man. It's getting hot. You know, it's getting hot outside. Shout out to Benny. I was at the Benny show a couple weeks ago. He had Bodie James with him. He had a couple of his artists, like new artists that he got on BSF, and they did their thing, man. They did their thing. He had oh man, what's my man? Fuego Bass. Fuego Bass was up there. He did his thing. Like I said, Bodie had his son up there, which is probably the highlight of the whole shit for me. Like Bodie and his son up there rapping. At first it looked like it was just gonna be Bodie's son like helping him out, and you know what I'm saying, and he did, but then he started doing his own joints. He did maybe about I want to say like maybe 3 or 4 joints of his own, and it just was fire. Like that was probably the highlight of the night for me. Aside from Bodie performing some of my favorite joints, he did some shit from like I don't want to say all of his projects, but he definitely took it back, and then he did some shit from Bo Jackson. He did some joints from Penalty of Leadership. He did like 1 or 2 joints from that. And it just was a great show. So shout out to them. This is like probably my third time seeing Benny down here in Atlanta and never disappoints. Every time he does 5 to 50 or 97 Hove or Joe Pesci 38, like all that shit is just every single time, and it's gonna hit every single fucking time. So shout out to him. I do want to talk about this Rudy Gobert thing. Like, if you guys don't know, the NBA playoffs are going on right now, and it was game 2, Timberwolves versus the Nuggets in Denver, a chance for the Timberwolves to go up 2-0 on the defending champs. I know that this shit sounds absolutely crazy because we're talking about the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves, bro, like they haven't been noteworthy in a very, very long time. You know what I'm saying? So Ant-Man being a clear leader of that team has done wonders for them because they've had talent. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe not as much talent as they have now, but they definitely had talent. They just couldn't put it all together. Couldn't put it all together. Couldn't really figure it out. Crazy. But him really coming into his own and really being handed the keys to the franchise, so to speak, has done wonders for them. Like everybody's calling him, young Michael Jordan and Jordan this, and and even he said like, "Yo, I'm cool on the comparisons. He's the GOAT. Let's not do that. Like, we're not even gonna play them type of games. You know what I'm saying? Because once you start to embrace that kind of shit, as a competitor, obviously you want to be the greatest, you want to be the best and all that. But once you start to embrace this kind of shit, it comes with a lot, and you don't really need that much extra on your plate. Play your game, be the best Anthony Edwards you can be, and the rest to take care of itself. But thing about it was Rudy Gobert, right? Who is not really liked already by a lot of people. He missed the game for the birth of his child, right? And it was like I don't even want to say controversial, but you know how it is when something like that happens. A lot of people speak out on it. A lot of ex athletes, a lot of just people in the media, they spoke out about it, and they talked about how what decision you're supposed to make in that situation. For me, I can understand both sides of it. Number one, like I'm always family first. I'm always gonna be family first, over that job, over that, whatever. Like if there's an important family event, I'm gonna be there. My kids need me to show up for this, I'm gonna show up for them. But that's me. I'm not in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? That's a completely different thing. And I understand completely that's still a job, it's still work, but that's a completely different thing because you grew up wanting this, like this is a dream of yours. You're living your dream. It's the NBA, and obviously there's a commitment that you made to your family, to to your loved ones, and there's also a commitment that you made to this team that's paying you, that's afforded you uh the resources to be able to take care of your family. And I'm not just talking about money. This is not a money thing. Anybody that knows me know. If you told me that there was a job that's going to pay me, you know, $60 an hour right now, but I'm only going to be home 1 day a week, that job is not for me because I'm not the money over everything guy. I'm the family over everything guy for sure. As an NBA player, you're always forced to choose work over family just by pure the nature of the job, right? You're always in a different city. You're always on the road. When you are at home, you're probably only home for a couple days, so your time is very limited. You got people to see, and so you're trying to show up, you're trying to be present for everything, and it's just not the way it goes. It's just not the way it happens sometimes. So you're always forced to choose work over family. So I think those times that you do get where you like, you know what, I'm gonna choose family this time. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at you know prioritizing that because when basketball is over with for Rudy Gobert and for all these players, not just him, basketball is over with for him. His family is going to be the one that's there for him. You know what I'm saying? Like when he's done, the fans not talking about him no more, the media not talking about him no more. His family is going to be the ones that's right there for him. So I understand making these moments and being there for this. You know what I'm saying? So whatever his relationship is with his family and with wanting to be there for the birth of his kid, I can't knock him for that. Regardless if this is game 2, game 7, or exhibition game or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like he made the decision that was best for him, and I respect it. But I can also understand the side of people saying, "All right, well, you made that decision. This could have had the Timberwolves won the game, by the way, right? So like now this is the same way people say this is a make or miss league. This is a win or lose type of scenario because if they would have lost the game, then people would have still been harping on it. They won the game, so it's like, all right, whatever. But had they lost the game, I mean, it still wouldn't have mattered. Like he still went to go do what he had to do. You understand? I just understand both sides of it. I understand the people that are saying family first because I'm family first, but I also understand the people that saying, all right, if you had a commitment to your team, and I don't know the conversation you had with his team, if he had a conversation with his team, if it comes out that he talked to them in the locker room and told them leading up to this, hey guys, if she goes into labor when that game start, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to go do this. Then, if they was like, all right, cool, fuck it, we got you. We're going to hold you down. Then, it's whatever. You understand what I'm saying? But I do understand how something like that could come across to athletes because athletes have a whole different mindset. Like people got to stop looking at issues with athletes who live a whole different lifestyle, who have a whole different mentality, and trying to put that into the 9 to 5 workspace and trying to put it into like our mentality because it's two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like it's two totally different worlds. They have a whole different system, a belief system, codes and rules and all that kind of shit. But again, like I said, if he talked to them about it beforehand and they was all right with it, then I mean, nothing anybody else has, nothing anybody else can say matters really. But above all, he made the decision that's best for him. I mean, shit, if he wanted to show up for his family, man, I mean, I'm not gonna knock him for that. If he missed that game to go be in a Call of Duty tournament or a 2K tournament or some shit, then yeah, come on, get the fuck out of here, get him off the team. You know what I'm saying? Waive him right now. But I'm not about to knock him for making a birthday his child, bro. Like win or lose, that's still his child. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you still got people that saying, yo, you could have saw them later, or you could have whatever. Again, that's people's relationship with how they see things and how they would handle things. It's not everybody's reality. We all have our own realities. And his reality, the most important thing is family first, period. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if he would have made that same decision if it was game 7 for the championship. I don't know that. So I can't project that on him. I can't tell you that he's wrong based on what I would have did or he's right based on what I would have did. That's his reality. And that's what people gotta understand. Like, I do want a player that's gonna be bought in and they want to, be there for the team and this, that, and the third. Yeah, for sure. But I want players that's good people too. Players that got their priorities together. And, again, his priority, family first, period. You don't know what's going on in his family. Like you don't know what it is inside of him that's like, yeah, I have to be there for this. You know what I'm saying? And that's more important than that game that day. The same way that people are saying, like, oh, well, J. Cole, he did what was right in his heart. And it's not about what a lot of people got to. It's the same thing. Give Rudy the same grace then. You understand what I'm saying? You can disagree with it, but just understand like he made his decision and he's okay with it. And that's really all that matters, man. When I get on social media and I see these takes and I see people talk about it like, as if because I disagree, I'm right, you're wrong. It's not that simple. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at Rudy for doing that. Like I said, he did what was best for his family. I'm never gonna knock a man for doing what's best for his family, bro. Like I'm just not. And I'm not like the biggest Rudy Gobert fan, but like as a person, as a father, like I can understand that, bro. I can understand that, and I'm sure, probably his lady probably was like, "Look, if you can't make it, you can't make it, bro. I understand what you do for the family." But in his mind, he probably was like, "Nah, I'm coming. I'm pulling up." So I can't be mad at that, man. I'm not gonna knock a nigga for being a family man, bro. Like I said, there's way worse shit that people are here doing, way worse shit that people are here missing games for. So I'm not gonna knock him for showing up like that at all. So I do want to say this right before I move on to this next thing. Let me say this to my fellow Giants fans: please be fucking happy, man. Like, please, man. What are we like? What are we doing? The draft was, a couple weeks ago. We took Malik Neighbors at number 6, who most people had 1A, 1B, or 1 and 2 on their big board of wide receivers in this entire draft. Marvin Harrison Jr. went, off the board number 4 to Arizona. He was the first receiver taken. Malik Neighbors was the second. That's kind of the way it was going to work out, across most drafts. We couldn't trade up to get the quarterback we wanted. So instead of swinging and just saying, fuck it, let's just take a quarterback for the sake of taking a quarterback, we took a number 1 wide receiver, bro. We haven't had a number 1 wide receiver in a very, very long time. So, like, just be fucking happy, man. Why you can't be happy? Why do we need to? Obviously, it would have been nice to come away from the draft with a quarterback, but like, goddamn, bro, we can't be happy that we got a number 1 receiver. We got one of the best receivers in the draft. This kid might be one of the best receivers in the league when he get out there, and we upset about that. So we gotta wait another year for a quarterback. Cool. Better that than taking a quarterback right now. He ends up being shitty, and now we got 4 years of the same bullshit. Like, come on, man. Just be fucking happy, please. I just want to say that real quick. Before I get to this right here, this was something that this actually wasn't on the rundown, but I want to talk about it. I saw this clip of Fat Joe from an interview, and he was talking about how he was like how he was when he was younger. Right? He's always telling these stories about his childhood, how he came up. He told this story in particular about how he was in high school, and he said one time he robbed his entire high school gym. He had so much shit that he had to have some of the people he robbed carry it with him. Like this is, I'm sure Fat Joe is a fan of Power because if they made a movie about Fat Joe, they probably have to turn this shit into a miniseries, and it would probably be Power because all the stories that he tells, dog, you can't make this shit up. I mean, maybe you can, but this shit right here is like, this is brilliant. I'm not sure how he's not sitting down with somebody right now coming up with a screenplay for this fucking movie or a show or something. We need a Fat Joe 10-part documentary like The Last Dance, like the Patriots Dynasty. We need the Fat Joe documentary like right now. Right fucking now. Executive produced by 50 Cent. And if you from that era when they was going at it, you know how crazy that sounded would have sounded back then, but how absolutely perfect that sounds right now. Because these stories are too good to not be documented. We need to see this shit on the big screen. So I'm here for it. Please make it happen. Come on, Joe. Come on, Fifth. Let's do it. But what I did want to talk about, let me pull this up real quick because this is something that I thought was very important, right? There's a tweet. It said, "Stop trying to force everyone to monetize their hobbies and turn them into businesses. Encourage people to have hobbies that don't require them to produce for others. Stop trying to create jobs out of joy. Let joy exist as is." To me, that's very, very important because the second that you turn something you love into something that you're relying on for money, that's when you start to breed like resentment, expectations, everything that takes the joy out of the thing that you love to begin with, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with if you're a creator and you enjoy designing clothes. There's nothing wrong with, hey, maybe I want to start a clothing line. Cool. But if my hobby is, if your hobby is like knitting or sewing or just like whatever it is, painting, just something that you just enjoy doing as a release, something you enjoy doing, the last thing you should be thinking about is how to make money off of that thing, because if the money comes and it comes in a natural way from it, cool. If you want to set up a a channel, a Twitch channel, a YouTube channel, or whatever, where people just watch you do you, and they can either pay you or not, whatever, cool. But telling somebody like, yo, you good at that, yo, you should sell those, and it's like, yeah, because no, because the second that I start selling them, I'm gonna start looking at the amount of money I got to invest in it, the amount of sales I need to make my money back, to make this shit make sense, and all of that. It turns into a business, and like you said, it takes the joy out of this thing, man. Like, and I think like people have enough on their plate. People already have enough on their plate as it is when it comes to jobs and relationships and parenting and just existing, and you don't need to compound that with, I'm gonna turn this thing I love into like some money grab or whatever. Like, nah, man, that's the quickest way to fall out of love with it. I tell y'all all the time, like with this show, dog, this is not something I do looking at other people like on these charts, or like looking at other people and seeing what they're doing. Like, oh man, I need to have like, nah. If I get the views, if I get the listens and the downloads and shit like that, it's a bonus. But I do this shit because I love to do it anyway. I was gonna do it regardless. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when I get those messages back when people hit me up and they're like, yo, This shit you said, I said it to y'all all the time. Yo, the shit you said made me laugh. I was having a fucked up day, a fucked up week, whatever. Or the shit you said right here made me think about that. I never thought about it this way. Cool. That's what I do it for. Like that's the payoff for me because it's about fulfillment. It's not about success or failure. You know what I mean? Like it's really not. If the money comes, it's gonna come naturally, and it's not gonna change what I do because I'm already naturally gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, but telling somebody that enjoys doing something that they should be making money off of it immediately, it make like number one, it makes them feel like, well, damn, like should I? Damn, I'm slacking. I ain't doing enough. Because you got people out here that's like, got this like billionaire mindset and they want to, no sleep and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna, the same thing we started the show off talking about, putting family first. It's a lot of people that's just like, yo, I'm gonna just go out here and make every dollar I can, and the family's gonna have to understand. Shout out to them. I'm gonna make the money, but it's not in the cards for me to be, out here just like not seeing my family and thinking that the money will suffice. It's not. That money can't raise your kids, man, or hug your partner or any of that shit or walk your dog or pet your fucking cats, nigga. Like it's not gonna do that. It's only you can do that. Only your presence can, have that impact on it. So I'm just not with it on that front. Like I said, if there's a way that you can make money off of it and it's a natural thing to you, cool, do that. Go with that. But as far as just something that you just enjoy doing and it is what it is. You would have did this regardless. Don't let anybody talk you into being like, yo, you gotta turn this shit into a business. Yo, bro, you gotta do this. Cause that's when the shit start being fun, man. Everything start being fun when it's a business, man. You listen to all these rappers and shit, like when they were just coming up, just rapping, making songs for their friends in the hood and shit like that, making tapes just because like they want to ride around, listen to it, or whatever people enjoy it, they selling it, themselves. They selling it just to make a couple dollars. Cool. But then as soon as it becomes a business, you get signed to a record label. It's like this shit ain't fun no more. It's a job. You gotta get up and do this. You gotta get up and do that. You know? The same thing with me a couple years ago when I got into the social media space as far as like working in it. I'm good on social media because like that's just an extension of my personality. The jokes that I make on there, the topics I bring up and shit like that, like that's how I talk anyway. That's how I was gonna talk to my friends anyway. I was gonna say that regardless. But then when it becomes a job, it's not fun. Because now you're looking at analytics and you're looking at data and you're looking at time you should put this out and how many posts you should have and how many pages you should comment on per day and how many people you should send messages to and how many, like, it's too much thinking involved in that shit at that point. It's not fun anymore because the fun is when you let the shit flow naturally and you just having fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Like something happens, you tweet about it, you put your phone down, it's whatever. But when you when it's your job, social media doesn't close. Most jobs close. They have a beginning of shift, end of shift. Social media is forever. That shit don't close. So it might be 10 o'clock and some news just broke. Some rap news, some trade news, some entertainment news, some whatever. And if you sleep, taking a nap, or you resting, or you got your phone on D&D because you had a tough day, you just missed an opportunity at some data, at some interactions, at some content. And that's not fun. It's cool to me. Like if I miss something, hey, I just missed it. It is what it is. The stakes are very low on that shit. But when it becomes a job, it's like you got to be always on. There's no days off. At least with most jobs, 9 to 5 shit, you get a couple of days off here and there where you can chill. You can go do something that you actually enjoy doing. But when your job is the thing that you used to enjoy, it's gonna be tough now because now you can't separate. You can't separate work from personal shit because you just combined them. You know what I'm saying? That only works if the thing that you love to do, somebody wants to pay you to do it as you. They want to basically pay you to be you. If you can find that, you crack the code. You crack the fucking matrix. Like you got it. But again, like if it's something that I saw that and it I thought it was fire to see that because it was just like, yo, don't like I said, like stop forcing people to do this shit. Like, oh man, you gotta get this money. You can make it. Like, bro, you gonna spend a lot of money trying to make money. So don't don't add bullshit on top of bullshit, man. You know what I'm saying? If you enjoy something, just you know, enjoy it. And for as long as you can, man. Like real shit. We'll take a break real quick. It's episode 31. All for the love. Man, like I said, the Drake and Kendrick shit is very, very entertaining, very interesting. And next episode is when I'll have like the full breakdown. I might be joined by a guest, maybe. I don't know yet. I don't know. I'm still thinking about how I want to play this. May have a guest, somebody who you know. But before we get up out of here, I do want to give y'all something y'all could, take with you, something y'all could live with, man. Um, as you move throughout your day, please try to keep in mind that, like, we talk about this before. It's like a recurrent topic that like your reality is different than somebody else's reality. So taking things personal is only going to add more shit to your plate. Even if they say something directly to you, it's not meant to be taken personal by you. It only has power when you give it the power. You know what I'm saying? Shit is words until you give it power. And I say that because I come across a lot of people who care about too much shit. You don't have to care about everything. Not every single thing, man. You don't have to look at two people having a dispute at the fucking cash register and make it your problem. You got your own shit to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like within your reality, control what you can control in your reality, man, and don't put more shit on your plate than you can handle when it comes to problems and worrying about things. If you have a direct problem, worrying about that shit is not going to change it. It still got to get done. Shit still got to get done. And you worried about it, and you stressing yourself out about it, and so you already got that problem, and then you looking for other problems to add to. For what? What you doing that for? You can't even figure out your own shit, and you trying to solve somebody else shit. That's not how it work. That's not how it work at all, man. Like you ever watch them the fucking like game shows and shit where like you got to go help your teammate over there, and you got to get up out. You can't go help them till you help yourself. That's life, man. So if you want to keep adding all this shit onto your plate, you can't do that and then look around too and be like, damn, when I'm gonna get a break. When you give yourself one, give yourself a break sometimes. When you get on, and that means like even when you get on social media, you ain't gotta reply to everything. You don't have to tweet everything that you think and give yourself a break. If you know that the topic that's going on right now, you tweet some shit out and you're gonna have the weirdos and the bozos all in your mentions, keep that shit in the drafts, man. Sometimes it feel good to just type some shit up and just delete it. It felt good to just see it on the screen. It felt good to say it or whatever. But you ain't got to put that on your plate. You know, your plate already, like I said, it's full enough, man. You don't need that shit. It's little small things like that you can do. You know, you know that jumping in that conversation mean that 20 more people gonna be tweeting you 50 more times. Why you gonna add that type of stress to your life today? You got enough shit going on. And even if you don't have shit going on, you don't want to add a problem. Like, nah, leave that shit alone, man. That's the message. Give yourself a break. It's episode 31, man. All for the love.